Good evening, everyone. Thanks for joining us for News 3 at 6. State contracts are still left undone tonight.
Democratic lawmakers began to move toward approving contracts for thousands of state employees, but as News 3 political reporter Jessica Arp tells us, there is now a holdup. Jess?
Well, state workers are calling for lawmakers to act. Republicans are crying foul at the rush, but unless a Senate leader calls that House to meet, nothing may happen at all.
State leaders should be just that. Leaders.
State workers from prisons to power plants are calling for their contracts to be approved.
Never in my career would I have expected that I'd have to stand up in the state capitol to ask my employer, my state, to act on a simple employment contract that's 2 years late in coming.
I'm no different than any other tax-paying citizen, and I don't understand why it is perceived that this budget shortfall is any more my burden than any other taxpayer in the state.
Many of the workers saw promise in the Assembly calling an extraordinary session to move forward on the zero pay increase contracts.
All we can do is respond to the hand given to us, and I think we have a responsibility to respond to that.
Over the protests of Republicans saying this type of rushed contract approval hasn't happened in decades.
This is the classic Greek tragedy, Jim Doyle's administration, and this is the final act.
While the Joint Committee on Employment Relations heard from unions and the public,
to allow midnight labor contracts to go through and basically to thwart the will of the citizens expressed in this election, it's indecent.
The fate of the contracts could ride on Senate Democrats, who must also call an extraordinary session to take up the contracts. Majority Leader Russ Decker wasn't at the Capitol today, and Senator Mark Miller wouldn't answer questions from reporters.
We gotta get to my hands.
Senate Democrats plan to caucus at 10 a.m. tomorrow. Senator Fred Risser said late this afternoon that he hoped the Committee on Employment Relations may be able to reconvene at 11 a.m. tomorrow to forward the contracts, and that some Democrats are even circulating a petition to go around the Majority Leader.
News 3 political reporter Jessica Arp in our news center tonight. Jessica, thank you very much.